The era of brand is here. It's more important than ever before that search engines and AI know your brand, really know it. And that's where digital PR comes in. It's not about backlinks or keywords. It's about getting your brand mentioned where your audience already hangs out, on trusted media, podcasts, blogs, and even influencer content. Unlike ads that you pay for, digital PR coverage is earned by giving journalists and creators stories worth sharing. It's a win-win. They get content and you get visibility, credibility, and real traffic. In this video, I'll show you the 5 steps to do excellent digital PR for your business, plus the common mistakes most people make at the end. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan from fatjoe. We've delivered over 230,000 SEO orders since 2012. Now let's get into it. Step 1. Understand your audience and where they hang out. Every PR campaign begins with knowing who you want to reach and where they are. For instance, if you're selling skincare, your buyers might be reading lifestyle blogs and magazines, or probably watching TikTok or Instagram reviews. Or let's say you're in the B2B software business. Your prospects are more likely to read trade publications or LinkedIn thought pieces. The point is, no matter what business you're in, you have to find out where your customers primarily get their info from. Google your competitors. Check the news tab in Google to see which sites are mentioning them. You can also check the competitors' social profiles and even their press pages for a list of prior coverage. Like a detective, you're trying to notice where your competitors have been mentioned before. This could be industry blogs, business press, or niche news sites. Next, try to find out their backlinks using free SEO tools like Ahrefs' free backlink checker, Ubersuggest, or Moz's Link Explorer. This will give you a list of blogs, news outlets, and influencers that already care about your industry. You can also set up Google Alerts for any topics related to your niche to get the latest updates from those who make content on it without having to search for them every day. If these influencers covered your competitors, there's a good chance that they'll cover you too. That list becomes your first map of where your brand also needs to appear. Making a Sheets spreadsheet of all of the publications, social media platforms, and influencers that you found in this step can really help you out in the future as you start to conduct outreach for your stories. Step 2. 6 ways to create a story that's worth talking about. Now that you've found out what types of blogs and social media platforms you need to put your business on, you need to then target the people who create content on them, which in general will be journalists and influencers. Remember, journalists and influencers don't exist to promote your business. They exist to inform or entertain their audience. Your job is to give them something that they want to share, that not only promotes your business, but is good for their own blog, paper, or brand as well. The first way to do this is with data-driven stories. Let's say you run a fitness brand. You could survey 500 people and discover that 2 out of 3 office workers don't exercise during the week. That headline is both surprising and quotable, which makes it perfect for the media. Don't worry, you don't actually need a big research budget. If you're canvassing your existing audience or customers, tools like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey can just help you collect the data. Alternatively, you can hire research firms for pretty cheap and ask them to collect 500 responses on a question related to your industry. If you can think of a way to relate to your industry from the general public, that'll help keep costs down, as you don't need to track down very specific respondents. For example, a company selling fitness equipment might ask, what's the easiest fitness machine for beginners? You can then turn the results into a short report with a catchy headline. Journalists love using fresh statistics like this because it makes their job easier and therefore they're more likely to quote you and your business. Make sure you thoroughly distribute your survey, like making email lists of possible clients or starting an ad campaign on social media to reach your audience alongside your outreach to the journalists. If they spot a buzz around the stats, they'll latch onto them, even if it isn't directly from your own outreach. The second tactic, newsjacking. This means adding your expert take to a breaking story. Let's say a new study is released around screen time and mental health, and you run a wellness business. You can quickly offer up commentary to journalists covering it by contacting them. Speed is everything here. The third one is creative campaigns, especially if they're designed for the platform that you want to spread on. Think of quirky stunts or interactive content that naturally spark some coverage. For instance, if you're selling running shoes, you can launch a virtual race challenge using Strava, where thousands will log their miles, and then release insights like 10,000 runners logged 1.2 million kilometers in 30 days. You can then package that into a press-friendly infographic or headline to promote your shoes. The fourth tactic, good old-fashioned press releases, but only if you truly have some news, like maybe a new market launch, an investment round, or major innovation. You can do this with the help of tools like PR Web and Business Wire. While they are paid services, they might be worth investing in. If you're in consumer products, then the fifth approach, which is product seeding, works really well. What you need to do here is to send your product to influencers who actually reach your target buyers. You need to find the right influencers for this, and that's an easy job that we covered in step 1. The key is to be targeted. Instead of blasting hundreds of generic emails, find the person who actually covers your topic. If it's a health story, look for the health editor or a journalist who's recently written about similar subjects. Tools like Muckrack or even LinkedIn can help you find the right contact. While LinkedIn's easier to use, Muckrack, once you get used to it, can give you a much more detailed search for the right person. So a toy company sending samples to parenting bloggers makes sense, as they can create content on your product and then market it to their audience that can then become your customers. Remember, when you pitch to these reporters or influencers, keep it short. Lead with your hook that will grab the audience's attention in 1 or 2 lines. Then explain what you have and why it matters to their audience. End with a clear offer, like the full data set, an interview, or ready-to-use visuals. Finally, the 6th way is to use services where journalists post requests for expert sources. Visit their websites and you can sign up for free and get daily emails that you can respond to with short quotes. This is one of the easiest ways to earn quick media mentions. Awesome. Step 3, building relationships and then tracking the results. Getting covered once is great, but the real value is in building long-term relationships with journalists and influencers. When someone features your brand, thank them and try and stay in touch. If you consistently provide value to them as well, you'll go from being a cold email to a trusted source. And that's when journalists start coming to you. At the same time, measure your results as well. Start with referral traffic, which is just simply the visitors who clicked through from a story about you from the journalists or through the content of influencers. Tools like Google Analytics can track this for you, and if possible, add UTM tags, which will make it even easier to see which article brought through which visitors. Next, track your backlinks, just like you've tracked your competitors in step 1. You can use the Ahrefs free backlink tracker on your own site as well. Remember, quality over quantity. 1 backlink from a reputable source is better than 50 from small unknown ones. You can also use Google Search Console to monitor how your rankings are changing. If your target keywords start climbing after PR campaigns, that's a direct sign that your authority is growing. This is where EEAT, the golden rule of SEO, comes into play once again. This is Google's shorthand for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. In simple terms, it tells search engines that you know what you're talking about and that you can be trusted. Every credible mention of you signals to Google that your site's trustworthy and worthy of ranking at the top. You should also try to watch your brand metrics, like how often people are searching for your company name and whether the coverage of your company is positive. Especially if you sell online, spend time and connect the dots all of the way to conversions, like the purchases or leads that come directly through referral visits. Finally, always make life easy for your journalists. Provide visuals, key stats, and even a short spokesperson bio wherever possible. The less work that they have to do to find out about you or your business, the more likely they are to use your story now and come back to you again later. Step 4, allocate the appropriate time to PR. Remember that, yeah, 1 campaign can get you noticed, but the real magic happens with consistency. Every new mention builds authority, every backlink strengthens your SEO, and every relationship creates more opportunities. So be honest about the level of effort involved. A small campaign might take 40 hours in a month, while a larger one can run closer to 160. That's why many businesses either dedicate a team member to PR or work with agencies that are experts in it. At fatjoe, we've been crafting our digital PR services for years, and we offer everything from quick press release blasts for under £100, all the way to full-scale multi-story PR campaigns, all ideated and managed for you. Check out our digital PR services via the link in the description below if you want to save yourself all of the hassle that we've covered so far. If you do decide to go it yourself, even if you start small, just keep at it. The point here is this: it's not a one and done kind of thing. As long as your business exists, it will need PR. A steady drip of digital PR always outperforms random bursts. Step 5, 6 common mistakes that beginners make. This step, unlike the previous 4, is actually about what you shouldn't do. So let's talk about the 6 traps in digital PR that waste time and burn bridges. The first mistake that many people make is pitching without a real angle. Telling a journalist that you launched a product isn't news. You need to give them a story, a trend, or useful data that they can weave their article around. So make sure that you prepare for that. The second big mistake is using copy-paste pictures that you found online. Generic mass emails don't just fail, they damage relationships. This is your business. Show how much you care for it and personalize everything. The third, and one of the biggest mistakes, is quitting after one attempt. Journalists and even good influencers get hundreds of emails and DMs a day. A polite follow-up once or twice often makes the difference between being ignored and being noticed and published. You can also try a campaign again after a couple of months if it flops. Many have found success with the exact same angle if it just happens to land at the right time the second time round. The fourth mistake is the obsession with vanity metrics that a lot of people initially focus on. These are metrics like potential reach and impressions that sound impressive but don't actually prove anything real. What matters is actual measurable impact, which means your actual referral traffic, backlinks, rankings, and conversions on your product. The fifth mistake, inconsistency. Digital PR only compounds when you keep showing up. Sporadic efforts lose momentum. And don't forget the human side either. Journalists and influencers aren't vending machines. If you only reach out when you want something, they'll stop listening. Build genuine relationships that give them regular content too. The sixth and final common mistake is influencer mismatch. Sending your product to someone whose audience doesn't care is just wasted effort. Always match the influencer or outlet to your buyer. That's your full step-by-step guide to digital PR for your business. If you need some help managing the chaos of full-scale PR outreach, why not simply outsource to fatjoe instead? Head on over to our site to check out our super clear pricing, examples, guaranteed deliverables, and more. I hope you liked the video. Do let us know in the comments below what you'd like us to cover next. And of course, hit that subscribe button. Stay informed and stay visible.